In the bottom of Pandora's box was hope. It was what saved her and Prometheus from all the challenges life throws at us. Hope allows us to dream, to plan, and to imagine a future we might never be a part of. This service is part of the Meaning-Making series. We're one of 15 Canadian Unitarian congregations who are sharing resources to create an 8-part series on roots of resilience. The service and the reflection were created by the Reverend Wayne Walder. So we will have a prelude now. It's by P. Simon. Okay. Just to get you settled. We pause to recognize and appreciate the Treaty 6 First Nations, predominantly Cree peoples, upon whose traditional land we are fortunate to be meeting. And we acknowledge that traditional lands recognition is an important first step to reconciliation. And we ask each one of us to think carefully about what we are doing individually to honor the treaty and fulfill our part of the Treaty 6 treaty. Good morning and welcome everyone, those joining us on Zoom as well. There's a few people up there, we'll see them in a little bit. This is one of many Unitarian Universalist communities across the continent and around the world. And we're a community of individuals, each on our own spiritual journey. and we welcome all people of goodwill, whatever their culture, their class, their color, their religion, their gender, their wealth, their politics, or the direction of their affections. So my name is Lorian Kennedy. My pronouns are she and her, and today I'm your service leader. And our speaker this morning is the Reverend Wayne Walder. Our musician is Carrie Day. We're very grateful, Carrie. David is our coffee host, and it probably means, because I can't see him, he's making the coffee. And our tech team this morning is Hannah and Carl at the back, and Bill is online. We'll see him when the Zoom people show on the screen. So to visitors and newcomers, and I know we have several new people here today, I hope everyone in the congregation will introduce themselves to you and tell you about all the wonderful things you can find here. Whatever the reason for your coming, whatever you seek, or whatever you bring, we welcome you. We invite you to share in our processes, our differences, our decisions, our risks, our mistakes, our celebrations, our rituals, responsibilities, joys, and concerns and sorrows. And I hope if you sign the guest book at the back and put your email address, then we can send you our newsletter. If you forget to do that, you can also do it online at our website. And you're welcome to attend any of the events that we have here. So come again. Services can be very different from one Sunday to another, so keep trying us out. Next Sunday, just to let you know, there will be a potluck after the service. So now I'll have the chime, which wasn't in the script, so I'll just make that up. Oh, I think I wasn't holding that very well. Let's try that again. So that was a mistake, but we're always forgiven. As we light this chalice, I'll do a reading by Vivian Pomeroy. Forgive us that we often forgive ourselves so easily and others so hardly. Forgive us that we expect perfection from those to whom we show none. Forgive us for repelling people by the way we set a good example. Forgive us the folly of trying to improve a friend. Forbid that we should use our little ideas of goodness as a spear to wound those who are different. Forbid that we should feel superior to others when we are only more shielded. And may we encourage the secret struggle of every person. Let's sing. We have an opening song. If you had the blue book, and there are more of them at the back, it's When Our Heart is in a Holy Place, number 1008. So please rise in body or in spirit to join in singing our opening song.
And our heart is in a holy place. We are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place. And we see faces in each other's eyes. When our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in
neighbor. We must be saved. I'm not sure if it looks like a responsive reading from the congregation. Is it on the slides? No. Okay, I'll read the whole thing then. Nothing worth doing is completed in our lifetime. Therefore, we're saved by hope. Nothing true or beautiful or good makes complete sense in any immediate context of history. Therefore, we're saved by faith. Nothing we do, however virtuous, can be accomplished alone. Therefore, we are saved by love. No virtuous act is quite as virtuous from the standpoint of our friend or foe as from our own. Therefore, we are saved by the final form of love, which is forgiveness. And then I think we have an online story for all ages that's written by Katrina Moore and illustrated by Melissa Iway.
And welcome back to another Bella's Bedtime Stories, where my daughter Bella goes to the local library and picks out books for us to read during bedtime. Today's book is called Hope is a Hop, written by Katrina Moore and illustrated by Melissa Iway. Hope is a light you turn on in the dark, and up before sunrise, start of a spark. Hope is a whisper you say to your heart. It's a hole and a heap in your cart. Hope is a seed that is too small to spy, deep in the dirt that's deserted and dry. Hope is a hum and a song and a pat, a battle with a bunny, a worn-in straw hat. Hope is a sprout and a splosh in the mud, the first pop of pink and a blossoming bud. When everything's tussled and turned upside down, when you're thudding and thumping and covered in brown, when you're waist high in weeds and you're worried you'll drown. Hope's a soft heartbeat so loud that it drums. A new place discovered from following crumbs. Hope is 8 ears that are huddled as one. Hope is a hop and a skip and a run. It's new seeds and soil and planting anew, and waiting and wishing for sunshine and dew. At last, there's a rainbow, all braided like rope. New hops, and new hands that all sprouted from hope. The end. Good night. Sleep tight. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
So this is one of the most favorite parts of our service, the time for candles of joy and sorrows, when we can share with each other things in our hearts, happy things and maybe sad things. So I'd invite you to come up and line up at the side and speak into the mic and then light your candle. while the next person is speaking. And also there will be people online. Good, you're there already. And we can see if there's anybody online who would like to light a candle. I'm going to light one more candle for all those things that are still in our hearts and not spoken. Would you like to join with me in the affirmation? May the light of these candles inspire us to use our power to heal and not to harm, to help and not to hinder, to serve the spirit of truth in loving affection and trusting hope. And our offerings of money and volunteer service are essential elements that sustain our congregation and this place of worship. Some donate on Sundays, others on a monthly basis. So please be aware, if you would like to donate some cash today and would like a tax receipt, please use an envelope. There are some in the backs of the chairs, or we can find one for you. And there's a box at the back for donations. We invite you to add your contributions now or at the end of the service. And now we have another song. This is When I Am Frightened. And it's number 1012 if you have the blue handbook. There we go. I love a lot of them. The Reverend Wayne Walder is recently retired from the Neighbourhood congregation in Toronto. He helped start that congregation, and he initiated many interesting programs. He cleared the land to build a family home and now lives there 4 months of the year with his wife, Joan, and they have 3 grown children and no pets. So we'll now have the sermon from Reverend Walder.
Hello, everyone. My name is Wayne Walder. I'm very happy to be here today, and thank you very much for having me come. Today, I'm going to do the sermon in 2 parts. It's going to be not longer than normal, but about the same length of time, just separated by a meditation. And in the meditation, I'll play a flute that looks like this. It's a soft sound that I hope that you can allow to kind of go by you. And I won't set it up. I'll set it up now. So the first part of the sermon, then the meditation, then the second part of the sermon. And I hope that it all works for you and works for me, and we both enjoy it today. The sermon is about choosing hope. And long ago, I lent my keys to my wife, Joan. Joan has a thing for keys, and she misplaced her own set almost every day. And then she would ask for mine, which made me a little bit nervous because if she lost hers, I reluctantly gave her my keys, and a few minutes later they slipped out of her hand and fell down into the city sewer where the car she was trying to open was. Of course, it was by mistake, and they were gone. It was a disconcerting story. We're over that now. On that day, just after they fell into the sewer, we watched a huge rainstorm come on, and it rained cats and dogs, and I was sure all the water would wash those keys to the middle of Lake Ontario. The funny thing is, though, after the rain stopped, Joan thought she could find those keys. She got me out of the house. She said, "Go get a rake." And I did. She said, "Open that street gate." And with her help, I did. She was the one who said, "They're right down there," and pointed to the place in the sewer. I put the rake down and I hooked to them with the key on the first try. She had hope. I did not. We found the keys through her hope. As I thought about it, though, I realized maybe I did have some hope. I had some. I came out of the house, I got the rake and opened the grate, hooked the keys. I didn't have hope. I would never have come out of the house. The only difference between Joan and I was that she admitted she had the hope. I don't know why I denied the hope. I can guess now. Hope is a messy emotion. And I had been hurt in the past when I had hoped for something and it did not happen. I created a thought in my mind that kind of goes like this. If I don't hope, then I can't be hurt. Paul Simon must have had the same emotion when he wrote that song, "I Am a Rock." Anybody here have their hopes dashed by some aspect of reality? It hurts. Anyone here give up on hope because when hope dies, it hurts a lot. It can crush our dreams. Well, I did not want to be hurt again, and I thought that if I just did not mention hope, I would be spared despair. We think like this sometimes in a binary way, one or the other. It's a rational way of thinking. If we deny hope, we can be free of despair. I didn't realize accepting and using hope is not a binary choice. Hope is hardwired in us. Hope is one of our coping mechanisms and surviving mechanisms. And we use hope to realize our goals. And you don't have to take my word for it. Charles Snyder has been doing research on how and why we use hope. He was a psychologist at Penn State University and the foremost authority on hope. He writes that hope is part of the way we think because it motivates us to navigate toward our goals. Our plans have the potential to be dashed by changing circumstances, illness, changing defections, new ideas, weather, and about 1,000 other circumstances beyond our control. Whenever we make a goal, we know, inshallah, as the Muslims say, it's not always in our hands. Snyder claims pretty convincingly that we navigate through the changing circumstances of life toward our goals by using hope. We hope, knowing in our gut that what we hope for might never be realized. Hope moves us forward even though we don't have this existential truth of getting what we want. The most successful among us use hope a lot because hope helps us watch what is happening to our journey and adjust it when the circumstances change. Hopeful people have the ability to envision a broader range of goals, he says, and that seems right. If you were hoping to have a vacation next year, you might start visiting websites that give the details of the places you'd like to visit. You might wonder if you go alone or with family or friends. We envision our goals because it helps us to make a strategy to get them. We hope to go on vacation, and this sets us up for planning it. When obstacles come up like not enough money or a partner who wants to go to Alaska, when we want to go to the Bahamas, we're motivated to compromise so that our goals can come to pass. But all this planning is based on hope because the vacation might never happen. Hope quietly motivates us to learn new skills so we're able to handle the complex arrangements of achieving our goals. Hopeful means, according to Snyder, that we are using a genetic and evolutionary process to move us forward when we can never know if we will ever be successful. Hope is very rational. It's not airy-fairy. Hope isn't an idle thought. It's the motivation for our work toward the goals in our lives. We hope, and then we do. And if we deny hope, or if we do not practice hope, we limit our ability to achieve our dreams. This means hope, unfortunately, but realistically, comes with despair. Because sometimes our dreams are dashed by the reality of our lives. Our rational mind wants to guard us against pain. Our mind wants to eliminate one side of this dualism. It's like this with many of our emotions. We want to feel courage, not fear. We want to feel love, not betrayal. We want to be generous, not miserly. But life doesn't work that way. To know the depth of life, we need to know both sides of the dualism. We need to hold hope and despair, or we risk becoming trite people. And trite people don't deepen and help change themselves and the world. Hope isn't a new age entertainment, it's a gritty skill. We can learn to better navigate our journey toward our goals. Henry David Thoreau, one of our Unitarian saints, wrote, "If one advances confidently in the direction of their hopes and dreams, and endeavors to live that life which they've imagined, they will meet with success unexpected in common hours. If you have built castles in the air, your work need not be lost. That's where they should be. Now we must put the foundation under them." Sometimes, though, despair is very deep. Some events are more awful than others, and some of our lives have been touched with tragedy, and touched hardly seems the word. Impacted, crushed. Some of us live with losses we are sometimes unable to carry. We've lost loved ones, dreams, even abilities. And this becomes part of who we are. My mentor, Ken Sawyer, spoke with me about when hope is lost. He learned about losing hope when he had a tragic event in his congregation. A wonderful, much-loved and admired 18-year-old lifelong member of the congregation, Lorian Dunn Astley, was murdered. She went to university and through no fault of her own was killed by another student. Her parents had been coming to that church in Wayland, Massachusetts for more than 20 years, yet when Lorian was killed, they continued to come. Thank goodness. But they were different. They were torn apart. Ken told me no one knew what to do. How do you say anything? How do you understand an event that could easily destroy not only the life of this young woman, but the lives of those who loved her? Everyone wanted to help, but no one knew what to do. Months earlier, before the murder, Lauren's mother, Mary, had won the silent auction bid for a sermon of her choice. After the death of her daughter, Mary, in her grief, asked Ken to speak about hope because it was something that she had lost. Ken is a very good minister, and he thought about it for a long time. With a lot of respect and some fear, he put together a sermon about the loss of hope and what we might do to restore it. He wrote, "Suffering is universal. It's for everyone. Yet there are times when life is sometimes hard, really very hard, when grief takes away the life from you and strips you of all hope. And then, what do you do?" Ken writes, there are times, thank goodness, very, very uncommon times, but times when having hope is more than a person should expect of themselves. Times to just get through step by step, breath by breath, when hope is something people around you, your family and friends, the people here maybe, hold for you until you're ready to receive it back. Sometimes hope may not be found internally. It may need to come from outside. And others can hope while the grieving person explores hopelessness, loneliness, and a lack of meaning and purpose. It's a sacred trust to hold hope for grieving persons and families in difficult times. This trust may not require words, just intention and presence. It is more often important not to say what we believe that better days are ahead or that things will turn out the best when others can't feel that, because indeed it might not be true. When some have lost hope in our grieving, it can be a tricky balance, giving them and accepting from them even love and care. Everyone knows this inside. Our care of hopeless people will not always be just right, but maybe that is what we can do. When someone has lost hope, we can hold it for them, because they will know the hope that they may not be able to have now is a hope we are holding until they can hope again. Personally, in my own life, I have been shown great kindness. I have been held by love in action, and I have been consoled. Kindness explains nothing about why there is suffering, but it helps alleviate it nonetheless. I cannot stress how much kindness can do for our loved ones. Kind actions, kind words, they're powerful and enduring. Kindness and mercy, they heal us. It takes time. Kindness and mercy guide us to put one foot in front of the other until we can walk forward. They begin to restore hope a tiny bit at a time. It may be scary to know that there is absolutely no reason for why some things happen. It may be terrifying to feel totally out of control. Yet this is how it is on our planet. Sometimes. Could you carry hope for someone? Carrying hope might mean allowing those who are lost to notice our hope, to notice our wish to go on, to notice that we are still seeing life and the day-to-day joys and sorrows about it. It's the best we can do sometimes. With practical support, maybe some rides, maybe a meal, whatever you can imagine, maybe what's ever called for. It's a slow process to heal. I wish it were not so. But everyone I hear from in my own experience reminds me it can take a long time. At the beginning, it's just terrible to lose hope. And it might get worse. But because we're human and we do hope inside us, it's wired, it can get better. Maybe not as well as before or as one would wish, but livable, enjoyable, maybe most of the time. Mourning the loss of hope is a spiritually necessary part of grieving. It's a spiritually necessary part of grieving. Then in time as we do that, we begin to hope that a time will eventually come when grief no longer feels like a crushing burden, and hope will return eventually. Maybe the writer D.H. Lawrence says it best in his poem, Shadows. Writes, "And if, in the changing phases of a human's life, we fall in sickness and in misery, when my wrists seem broken and my heart seems dead and my strength is gone, my life is only the leavings of a life, will you help me see still, among it all, snatches of lovely oblivion and snatches of renewal, old, wide, odd, wintry flowers upon the withered stem, strange flowers such as my life has not brought before, new blossoms in time." Through your memory of despair, I wish for you hope to plan your days and build your dreams. Thank you so much for listening to me today, for inviting me here. Bless you all.
There is a closing song by Jason Shelton. Are you going to be playing it, or yeah? Okay, not yet. So it's one that we don't have in our songbook. I'm not sure if we know it or not. If you know it, feel free to sing along. Okay.
Here in reverence now we gather for the blessings we have known, with a pledge to one another that we journey not alone. Joy and sorrow make us wise, kin to all that lives and dies. Love calls us on, love calls us on.
It's wonderful, some of the things we have learned to do over the last few years in congregations online. I'm going to extinguish our candle. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken-winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams go, life is a barren field frozen with snow. That's by Langston Hughes. Oh, that is, okay, it's not a hymn. And we'll have a postlude from Carrie. Thank you.